Welcome back to Not So Grand Garage. Today I'm out of the shop and we are going to talk about our upcoming solar expansion project. Now I've been wanting to do this for a long time, and our local power company has decided to just rail everyone here lately. We heat with wood primarily. We've got a 10 kilowatt solar array, 11 kilowatt solar array on the roof of the house, and we're still getting power bills in the winter that are just astronomical. It's double, triple what we normally get, and people around us are seeing the same thing, $1,000+ electric bills. And this is with people that are using alternative forms of heat too. So it's the power company drastically increasing prices through the winter because they know they can. So I've also wanted to get into an automatic backup system instead of having to rely on the generators and such. So this is going to give us that option too. But anywho, we've got so far 32 kilowatt hours of battery, and the brains of the operation, 15K Sol-Ark inverter. This has 200 amp pass through, which what we're going to be doing, we're going to be using it in between our main service and our critical loads panel that used to be fed by generators and such like that. This is going to be in between the main and that panel. So it will only be powering that panel if and when the power goes out. We're also going to limit its power production, so I don't have to alter my contract with the power company as far as our solar goes, because yeah, I'm not giving them any more than they've already got. So this can also control the generator. It's really slick about this setup, which is going to come in handy in the future, I believe, is with the generator tied into it, you can fire the generator up, run it at full tilt for a couple hours, totally recharge the battery bank, and shut this down. And then lean on the battery bank for days instead of running the generator 24/7. So that's going to drastically improve fuel use, so or cut fuel use, I should say, I guess. But anyways, this is going to be several weeks probably. Right now all I've got is the batteries and the inverter. I do have a stack of panels from another project that I picked up. I may put on it to feed it, but even with no panels hooked up to it, it will still function as like a UPS. But we'll get into that later. Right now we're going to look at getting it set up to mount the batteries, mount the inverter. All of this is going to be outdoors this time. So we've already got to start in the back, pouring a concrete pad, getting the place set for all this stuff, because this is a lot of weight. These batteries are 370-ish pounds a piece, and the inverter's not light either. So we've got all that out back. Yeah, we've got all that out back. We'll take a look at it and go from there. This is going to be part one of this project. Excuse the noise in the background. The sheep aren't happy for whatever reason. I'll have to go check that out here in a bit. But yeah, if you caught my previous video on our backup generation systems and all of that, and how I have this property all wired up to work on that, you will know what this panel back here is. We have all of our important loads tied in and fed to this panel. That is refrigeration, freezers, and some other things that aren't important for you to know. But everything that's important is tied off of this in the back, out of the way. So we decided to set up an area here. Don't judge my concrete. I'm not a concrete guy, and I don't have all the proper tools to do it, but we'll go over that later. Anywho, we've got enough room here to mount a battery and inverter on one side of this panel and a battery on the other side of this inverter. I'm going to be moving these two boxes that are off the side, and yeah, it should work out pretty well. For now, the main goal is to keep the inverter and batteries out of the weather as best as possible. Now, they are rated to be outside. They can handle the rain and everything else. It's not a big deal. But as far as I'm concerned, when you have that much of an investment, it's best to do what you can to protect them. So I went on and set some posts in the ground, set up a little pad here. This is 32 inches deep, 7 feet wide, 4 inches thick with footers. And we're gonna come up here, we're going to build off a little metal roof for it. And if we want down the road, we can put sides on it to keep blowing rain and such in. We'll also have room to set one of our smaller 3,500 watt generators up here. That way it's out of the weather as well. That'll be a nice little addition. But yeah, this video mainly is going to be getting this set up, and because that's a lot of the work of doing these projects, is getting a good base set up where everything's going to be installed, getting your wiring figured out beforehand, and then everything will go a lot smoother. But yeah, like I said, this video is going to go over several days probably, because like I said, the concrete got poured last night. I finished it up. We've got a couple days above freezing, so this will set up. Hopefully by the weekend, we'll be able to set our batteries in place. In the meantime, we're going to go on and try to get the roof's little section built, metal on it, and go from there. But yeah, I think I'm going to go over some of the details of how we're going to set this up. And I think it'll work out really slick for how we do things. So yeah, let's get into that. Don't mind the missing blank. I've got it, I need to drop it in. But this is a standard 100 amp outdoor panel. This is fed by our meter base. And we have a 100 amp main breaker here and a 100 amp main breaker at the meter. So we can shut this off and completely isolate it from everything, which is really nice. Previously, how we were doing things, which is still set up that way, our big diesel generator backfeeds this panel. So we can shut down and have a double disconnect to keep this isolated from the grid. Power this by the diesel generator or any of the smaller generators. I'm set up to run 3 different types of generator on this panel itself, you know, options. And that will keep all of the essentials in the house working. We've done that multiple times. It'll keep the HVAC running, freezers, fridges, everything. That is important. With this inverter, we're going to be mounting it over here on top of one of these 16 kilowatt hour batteries. They are designed to go together. It's a really nice setup. We'll get into that when we unbox them here, probably in the next video, but we'll see. The feed coming into this is going to, instead of going into this breaker, it's going to go into the feed side of our inverter. And then our load side of the inverter is going to come back down and tie into this panel. So the inverter will be daisy chained between the main breaker in the meter base and this right here. So if anything ever happened to the inverter in an emergency where, for whatever reason, we could flip the main in this panel still and isolate this and run this off a generation, traditional diesel generator, gas generator, whatever, until we could bypass the inverter. A lot of people will run like a bypass switch to be able to, in an event of needing service or what have you, they can loop around the or bypass the inverter. It's a really nice feature, but the cost currently it isn't in the cards. Those are over $1,000. You know, the good ones are anyways. And I'm already investing a fair bit in this. And we got snow melt and ice melt coming down. But yeah, so we're going to do it a little differently, but it should work out really well. I'm also going to pull the generator feed lines out of this panel for the big generator out back. We're going to pull those and they will be fed directly into the inverter. That's going to give the inverter the ability to control the generator. In the inverter's settings, you can actually set how much power it pulls into directly charging the battery bank. versus how much power it puts out into the panel. So a big enough generator will charge the batteries and simultaneously run all of your loads, and that's fantastic. Another really nice feature, I already hit on it once, but I'm going to hit on it again. If you run a standard generator to power your critical loads at your house during a power outage, you're running that generator 24/7 or you don't have power. In this case, this system comes online as soon as power shuts off. It's all automatic. It's several millisecond switch over time. The stuff in this panel won't even notice that the power went off. It's that quick. So it'll automatically switch over to the battery bank, and we've sized the battery bank to run the property for 24 hours currently. Critical loads anyways. We will be expanding on that as finances allow, but that's going to be a ways out. But once that's switched over, we don't have to start the generator. I don't have to be home to come out here and flip breakers and get the generator fired up and all that stuff. Everything will be fine. So if I'm out of town or if I'm several hours away at work and the power goes out at the house, I don't have to worry about the wife and kids running around and worrying about the fridge, worrying about the freezer, doing anything in the house. So that will take over. Say the battery bank starts getting low, okay? Fire the generator up. In 3-ish hours, based on our size generator, it'll fully recharge that battery bank, and we'll have another minimum 24 hours of power in the batteries off of running the generator for 3 hours instead of running it around the clock. So we're gonna cut our fuel usage drastically, which means we'll be able to store more fuel and have more potential use on hand, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's one of the biggies that led me to go this route. But anywho, I'm gonna stop yapping. We're going to hopefully work through this the next few days and get the cover built for this. And then the next video, we will get into getting the battery and the inverter all moved and mounted. Like I said, they're very heavy. Getting the wiring done and going from there. So let's see what we can get done. Well, we've got our metal cut. I did have a piece of scrap that was a little over 9 feet long, so it worked out just fine. It's not perfect, but it'll get the job done. I will have to trim it off a little bit over here, maybe. I don't know. I might just leave it. But I'm gonna get some screws in it, get it pushed up tight to the siding, get some screws in it down to the frame, and then once we get it rinsed off, eventually I'll probably come up to the top and run a bead of sealant across the top just to keep as much water out as I can. But yeah, I think this will do just fine for keeping our batteries and inverter out of the water. Now, our concrete is not set fully yet. So it may get a few more days. I don't know yet. I was hoping to be able to set this stuff, or at least set the batteries in place and set the inverter in place so I can build the mounting system for it by Saturday, but I don't know if that's going to happen. It's Thursday currently, so I don't know if it's going to be cured enough to support the weight or not. I don't really want to take a chance on damaging the concrete, but we'll see. Kind of play it by ear. But yeah, we'll get this cleaned up, screwed down, and go from there. Well, that covers the roof. It's not perfect, but you know what? It will serve its purpose. The goal here is to keep water off of the batteries and the inverter, and I think this will do the trick. This area right here doesn't get a whole lot of direct sunlight, so I'm not super worried about that. Main thing was rain. Even though the inverter and the batteries and such are rated for it, I want to protect the investment as best I can. So anywho, I think I'm just going to wrap this one up here. We will come back on part 2. We will hopefully be setting the batteries and the inverter in place. I will be building a mount setup for the batteries. I think I'm going to build like a steel C-channel setup that will anchor to the concrete, go up the back of the batteries and the inverter so they can bolt directly to it and they won't be attached to the house. I'm not 100% sure yet. We'll see. But yeah, that'll be on the next one. So with that said, if you've got any comments, questions, complaints, drop them in the comment section below. If you would, hit that thumbs up button. Helps out quite a bit and doesn't cost you anything. If you haven't already, please subscribe. We appreciate you watching.